guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. This is part 2 in the series of sunscreen video. I've already posted part 1 on my channel, so if you have not watched it, please watch it. It will help you understand how I transitioned from being a person who did not believe in sunscreen to a person who now just talks about sunscreen and cannot stop talking about it. I am quickly going to go through the question sticker that I've received this morning. So I've just, sort of shortlisted all of them here, and I'm going to address them one by one in the limited time that we have, and I'm trying to cover most of your queries. A quick disclaimer: when it comes to skincare, when it comes to food, when it comes to supplementations, no opinion is just general or personalized. It's just people like us sharing information with what we have and with what we know. It may work for you, it may not work for you. Every skin is different, every body is different, everybody is different, and I can't really give you a customized thing about, okay, this is what you should do if you have acne prone skin and oily skin, because there are a lot of variables. Okay, when it comes to acne, there is no just one skincare routine that is going to suit everyone. There is no one size fit all sort of a program here or a protocol here. Another important thing is your food and lifestyle is very important. So if you're on alcohol, if you're taking cigarettes all day, if you're not eating well, there's a lot of sugar, carb, refined carb, processed food, artificial food, junk food, and you expect for a sunscreen to work with your skin and body, that's not going to happen. And you just always have to know that we are just talking about one product, and we're just talking about it in detail, so that as a consumer you have enough information, right? Along with food and lifestyle, a lot of people are on prescription medicines. A lot of people take a certain medications or blood sugar imbalances that can lead to pigmentation of the skin or darkening of the neck, which usually happens with blood sugar imbalances. So we always want to remember this thing very clearly. Another important thing is, let's say if you're taking adapalene gel and clindamycin and retinols, and you're using a salicylic based toner, and you're using AHAs and BHAs and PHAs and exfoliants and serums and hydrating oils and moisturizers, you know that all of these things also impact how the sunscreen sits with you. So always remember all of these things before you jump out and just buy any product because someone like me told you to buy it. Okay, there are a lot of variables and only you can take care of it. I'm going to start with the first question, which is by Nidhi. Can we start sunscreen from the age 5? So there are sunscreens that are kid friendly. I think Cetaphil does it. It has a specific sunscreen that talks about, it is made for kids. Any which way, try to keep your kids in shade, like put on a hat, put on an umbrella, make them wear a white color clothing when out and outdoors. But I really think that you should not be putting on sunscreen for someone who is 5 years old. Okay. For dark skin, I have tried every sunscreen. It gives you a white cast, especially if you put it after the moisturizer help. So again, like I said, as a disclaimer in the start of the video, you have to take care of the moisturizer that you are using. Make sure that that works with the sunscreen. Now the sunscreen which are going to be very, very well blendable, and it's not going to leave a thick goopy texture sort of a thing, I think Cetaphil is a good choice. I think Photo Protector does not leave any white cast, so it's a great choice. If you have a sensitive skin, then Innisfree is also very, very good. Now when it comes to sunscreen, making something that is fragrance free, non-comedogenic, great for sensitive, great for acne prone skin, great for dry skin, great with chemical and physical filters, great with UVA, UVB protection, great with PA factors, it's very difficult. Okay, so we can't really find a product that is going to fit all the things that we desire and tick all the boxes. We always have to remember that we will have to compromise here and there, maybe 18%, 20%, depending on, just weighing the pro and con of the product that you are using and seeing, are the pros much more higher as compared to con, and can I still use the product? So I think that's a decision that you will have to take for yourself. Okay. Why UVA is more harmful? As you mentioned, it breaks down the chemicals just in 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so I think UVA radiation, UVB radiation, when it comes to UVA, it is ever present. So right now I'm sitting here, I don't have any artificial light in this room whatsoever. I have a balcony in front of me, and all of the light that you see in this video is coming from just that one place. Okay, so am I exposed to UVA right now? Even when I have like windows here, and even when the light is not too harsh and this is evening time, yes, I am still exposed to UVA, and I am wearing a sunscreen. I am under lockdown, I am at home, and I'm talking to you, right? So UVA is ever present. It's about 95% of the light. So daylight, there is going to be UVA. So it's going to be there when it's rainy, when it's cloudy, when it's gloomy, when there is sunshine. It's going to be ever present, and you have to know when it is ever present, it's going to work on that chemical on and on, on and on, on and on. And at the same time, there are a lot of chemical screen filters that are not very photostable, so they tend to break down. Okay, so that's why you need to protect yourself from not just UVA but UVB as well. So UVA is more related to the aging of the skin, and UVB is related to the burning of the skin. So let's say rashes and getting itchy and sweaty and getting some spots and darkness and something of redness. Usually for most people who are more on the fair tone side, it is responsible with UVA, which is responsible for about 4 to 5% of the radiation. Irrespective, it is there and we need to take care of it. Okay, can I use face wash to remove sunscreen at night? Yes, you can. Let's say if you're at home, if you're not out and about, and if you're not playing with dirt and stuff, I don't see why that should be a problem. So face wash should be okay. Why we need more protection against UVA than UVB? I've already answered this. Can you recommend all products of a basic skincare routine? It really depends on what you want. Basic skincare routine should really comprise a cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. That's 3 basic. Okay, you can include a toner and an exfoliant or a mask. That can be about 2 to 3 times in a week. Mask can be maybe once or twice a week depending on your skin. Okay, I don't know anything about skin routine. How and what should I do in the morning and night routine? So when it comes to morning and night routine, you really need to know what are you addressing. So with me, I addressed all of my skincare issues with just food. Okay, once I was done with food, and once I was done having a routine with like a proper cleansing, moisturizing and sunscreen, and doing my face mask and getting my regular facials done, now I have started to look into salicylic acid and toners and exfoliants and anti-aging cream, serums and stuff. But before this, I did not do it. So you need to know what exactly are you looking for from the routine that you desire to have, and then work upon it and then build towards it. Yep, I've lost the question. Yeah, I'm just going to take a sip of water because it's hot. Are chemicals in sunscreen safe for our skin? Will it cause side effects? Can sensitive skin people use chemical in sunscreen when a good brand is doing it? Is very safe. It's not really going to create a problem. You can read, I know there are myths that says that, oh, it causes cancer and it's not good for the coral reefs and it's leading to the bleaching of them. But when you really look into the proper studies and when you really look at facts, right, and not from the papers that are manipulated, but just if you just talk to people, let's say, who are experts when it comes to bleaching and the coral reefs and how the chemicals work and the sunscreen work, I think a lot of people try to divert our attention from the main topics like agriculture and plastics to something like sunscreens, right? And I'm sure, I don't know 100% about this to comment about that, okay, everything that everyone is saying is wrong, but I really think we divide our attention and put it in places where it's not needed. So we will be so fussy about leaving gluten, but we are not so fussy about popping Allegra every single day. We are not so fussy about having refined sugar every single day. We are not so fussy about being addicted to sugar. We are fussy about removing gluten, and I'm going to be deficient in gluten and I'm not going to be able to digest gluten. So I think that's a bigger problem. Talking about sensitive skin people, you should use sunscreen that are formulated for sensitive skin type. I really think Bioderma is fragrance free. That should be okay, since sensitive skin people can be a little sensitive to fragrance. Innisfree is good. The white bottle of Innisfree, I'll try to put down a link below in the description box. Innisfree is good. L'Oreal does a white blue bottle, and I think that is also a very good sunscreen. I'll put down its link for sure for you. Chemicals which are present in the sunscreen are harmful to us and environment. I think I've already addressed this. Chemicals which we should look for protection against UVA, one of the finest is avobenzone. Although you want to look for something that's broad spectrum, so physical being like zinc oxide, and something like Uvenol A+, Trizosome MS, there are so many different names and harder to pronounce chemicals. But irrespective, a lot of, you want to look for UVA and UVB and not just UVA. When the chemicals in the sunscreen harm and damage our skin, Decodor Amrita, no. If you really use it well, and if you really know what you're putting on your skin, and if you really read about the facts and everything, I think it really makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, why to apply sunscreen after moisturizer? Can't I apply sunscreen directly after washing my face? So I think, you know, I personally did this a few times. I did skip my moisturizer since I said I have normal skin. I don't have a very dry skin. So I did at one point took out the moisturizer and did the sunscreen. Although I think it's just, you know, I think for a lot of people, just that layer of hydration and protection can really also help the sunscreen sit and blend very well with the skin. And with sunscreen, you really have to apply it and not exactly massage it and seep it into the skin like we can do with a lot of serum, hydrating oils and moisturizers. But I think with sunscreen, you should ideally put on a moisturizer, but if you want to skip it, I think that's completely up to you. Okay. Can you recommend sunscreen for oily and acne prone skin? I have done this and I've put this on my wall. We have to apply sunscreen on hands and legs also at home. If you can, nothing like it. Is it okay to eat asafoetida? Because most of them contain gluten in gut healing phase. Asafoetida doesn't really create any problem in the best of my knowledge, so it's pretty safe. Okay. Again, a lot of questions are related to sunscreen recommendations, and I really want you to go through my IG. That will be much more helpful and it will save us a lot of time. Hi Akriti, you have asked, unrelated but with everything happening outside, how do you manage to still believe in higher power, that we are taken care of? How are those who've died and not taken care of? Why is this happening? No one knows why is this happening, right? And I think this is a very difficult situation for a lot of us, and I will be talking about this in detail maybe in a next video or something. I don't want to stretch this one, but just because something wrong happens, it doesn't mean that we are not being taken care of. And we always have to remember this: just because something is wrong and it's not the way you had like for it to be, it doesn't mean that there is, you know, someone who is not taking care. I mean, that's just how I see it. Why did our mom's grandparents, who didn't wear it all, still are aging beautifully? Because your mom was not crying all night over a guy, and she was not living in an era where the ozone layer is so depleted, and UV and UVB can just come and just touch our skin and penetrate and really damage and change the molecular structures that are responsible for elasticity and plumpness and collagen and tightening of the skin. And this was just not the place where they were living. They are just in a different place. Okay, look at the air pollution index, it's crazy. Okay, that's a different question, but I'm just going to quickly address it because I've read it. Unrelated, but how did you start to believe in God? Saw your Purani post, you didn't, I suppose. Please share. I have never not believed in God. I always believe in higher power and universe and yourself, and you are the universe, and that's about it. I don't really believe in you know, sitting in front of a photo frame and praying or making human a god. That is one thing that I don't believe in. But yeah, that's what. How to keep a tab on the 2 to 3 hour mark for reapplication? Just remember it, like, you know, just try to. Okay, I woke up, I applied my sunscreen around 8 o'clock, 8:30, I did my breakfast, so by the time it's going to be lunch, I need to put it on again. I think that should be helpful. Okay. Do you apply body sunscreen? If so, then which one? I do apply it on my body, yes, and I use the photo protector. I've already talked about it. From what age are we supposed to use sunscreen? I think 12, 13, even 10 is okay. Among 4 sunscreen you suggested, which one is best? I love photo protector. Why is it necessary to apply sunscreen on moisturizer? So you always want to remember, right? The whole point and purpose of sunscreen is protection. It's not to moisturize the skin. It's not to make the makeup sit well or make us look shiny or hydrated or glowy and all of these things. The whole purpose of sunscreen is the protection, right? And if it sits on the top layer here and the UV radiation comes and hits it, this is exactly where the protection is going to be. So it's like agar aapka darwaza hai, theek hai, and enemy can come from here, why would you put your front line in the back door? You will keep them here to protect you and take care of you. So it's that same logic here. Okay, my dermat recommended Cetaphil SPF 50 to me. Do you approve? I really love Cetaphil as a brand. Yes, it has parabens, and at one time I did not really understand the importance of it, but the more I study and educate and inform myself, I don't think that amount of paraben is really going to create a problem. We give it to a lot of our clients who have eczema and stuff, and it does work for a lot of them. It doesn't work for some of them. So like I said in the start of the video, it's really bio-individual, but Cetaphil is good. Should we apply sunscreen on our hands also? Yes, you should. Which sunscreen do you use? I use the photo protector. What is SPF 30? So SPF 30 is basically, SPF stands for your sun protection factor. Okay, SPF 30 is better than SPF 50. SPF 50 is better than SPF 30. SPF 75 or 100 is better than SPF 50. I think anywhere between SPF 30 and SPF 50 is good, because it just tells you the amount of UV radiation it's going to, let's say, just block, pick it, absorb it, and then you're just going to wash it off so that it doesn't reach your skin. So every SPF is going to have the different percentage, and if you look from SPF 30 to 50, there is not a lot of percentage change, right? So like, let's say one is 95% block and one is going to block 97% of it, or let's say absorb 97% of it, but it's still a lot. You're still saving yourself from that 95 to plus additional 2%, which does changes a lot when you look at it in totality over the few weeks and months and years. So I personally wear SPF 50 every single day. If you don't live in a place where let's say there's a shade and you have pulled on the curtains and you're using artificial light and you're just at home and there is actually no sun coming and you sort of live like in a box, then you can miss out on sunscreen and you can skip it. But like I mentioned some time ago, that UVA is ever present. It's here even when I speak to you. So you really want to take care of that one factor and put on the sunscreen. But I think sun protection factor of 50 and 30 is much preferred as compared to SPF 15. Okay, I have to go office every day with face mask. I fear mask nay. I know this can be a task, I understand, but I think a good skincare routine, number one. Number two, great food and lifestyle. I mean, skincare routine, great food and lifestyle, and movement and stress and sleep and emotions and energy all come under one umbrella for me. It's all at top priority. And making sure that your mask is good, right? So it's clean, it's hygienic, it's washed, wash it in warm water, soak it in the UV light. That is going to be good. It's good for the mask. It's not so good for us, but it's good for the mask. I have oily skin. Putting sunscreen makes it sticky and pimple pops up soon. I think either you are using the wrong sunscreen or the products you are using before sunscreen are not good. So your moisturizers and cleansers, you should look into that. Not related to sunscreen, but currently I am doing night shift 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and I want to consult with you. We do consult with people who have night shifts, so that shouldn't be a problem. What SPF should teens use? Like I already said, SPF 30, okay, SPF 30 to SPF 50 is one thing that I very, very, very strongly recommend, okay? And honestly, stick to SPF 50 if you can. Any below 500 sunscreen you can suggest, which is actually good? Can't afford for 500 plus every month. I can look into it. I'm sure I can find something. And like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but I can find something, okay? You've got oily skin and you sweat a lot on the forehead and cheeks, can you please suggest product for me? So I think, again, see, oily skin is not at all bad. It's just that you have to learn how to manage it well, and you have to see the products that sit really well with you. So like a good exfoliant or like a good toner, or using something, let's say for example, that is salicylic acid based. You can use it as a leave-on, you can just use it as a face wash or a cleanser or a toner, and just see how it sits with your skin. So you have to address the oil before you just start to slather the sunscreen. So you really want to take care of what are the products that you are using before you put on the sunscreen. That is going to be very important. Night we apply moisturizer and morning before exposing sun. Do you recommend to wash it off? So when you're applying moisturizer at night, and if you don't have extremely oily skin, or if you don't see a lot of oil there on your skin when you wake up, you can actually skip the cleanser. A lot of people do advise that. Although personally for me, I feel very icky for some reason if I don't wash my face in the morning. So I will use a very mild cleanser, wash my face, and then put on the moisturizer, and then put on the sunscreen. I recommend, if your skin is, you know, okay, a little oily, a little acne prone, a little sensitive, just doing that one cleanse can be helpful. But if you're someone who is very dry, and if you put on a good moisturizer in the night, you can just use plain water and then use your moisturizer and SPF, or like your morning serums like vitamin C and everything, and that is also going to be very helpful for you. Do we have to apply it on every part of the body exposed to the sun? Ideally and unfortunately, yes. Is Vaseline moisturizer with SPF 30 and PA triple plus enough for sunscreen and moisturizer? Again, I don't believe in products that combine sunscreen and moisturizers together. They are not the same thing, and sunscreen is not supposed to moisturize you. I recommend use both of them separately. Irrespective, SPF 30 and PA, that is protection grade, triple plus is good. So any PA with 2 plus is the lowest limit you go. Anything below PA double plus ke niche, you don't go beyond that, and SPF 30. So I think these are two things that we should always remember. Do I need to apply sunscreen even when I'm soaking in the morning sunlight? I personally don't. I can be wrong, but I personally don't prefer it. So very early in the morning, I will not do it. Yeah. Which sunscreen do you recommend for boys aged 10 years? I think Cetaphil, the one that is specifically for kids, should be good. Acne UV sunscreen by Epica, is it safe? So Acne UV sunscreen, we see a lot of people using it. It's usually suggested by dermatologists. I have not really gone through its ingredients, but I can go through it and I can get back. Should we apply sunscreen before or after serum if using? Also, using teaspoon of sunscreen makes skin oily. To answer question number 1, serum always before sunscreen, always before moisturizer. If it's a very active serum, so like a serum that has a lot of active ingredients like benzoyl peroxide or azelaic acid or niacinamide, retinols, then you want to, like, you know, do the sandwich method and do the moisturizer and then put the serum and then put the moisturizer and then put the sunscreen, if you have the time to listen to this, understand this and apply it. But serum before sunscreen, before moisturizer. And if you use a teaspoon of sunscreen and it makes your skin oily, you are probably not using the right sunscreen for your skin. And I recommend trying brands like Innisfree and stuff. So personally, Neutrogena is very famous. I think Neutrogena does the mist one as well, which is not very easily available in India, so I'm not going to talk about it. And it does a zinc dry touch sheer block sort of a thing as well, which does not work with me. So I don't usually even recommend it to my clients. The one sunscreen that I do recommend to like 80 to 90% of my clients is Photoprotector. It works for me, it works for them, it works for people who have eczema. So overall, it's really helpful. I'm just trying to see the questions that I've, like, you know, that is important and I've missed. Should everyone take SPF 50 inside the house, or it depends from person to person? It does not depend on the person. It depends on the UV index, that is the light that you are exposed to, right? So I am in a very well-lit room naturally without any artificial light. So I do wear SPF 50 even when I'm indoors. But if you are someone who lives, like, you know, not with a lot of sunlight, and even in the daytime, in the morning time, you're using artificial lights, I think you are okay without the sunscreen at home, indoors. But I'd rather prefer the UVA and the sunscreen and just try to, you know, be in that natural environment a little or as much as possible. It really helps with the circadian rhythm as well. Ideal SPF, Nikitax has asked it. SPF 30, SPF 50. I think SPF 30 is the lowest you go. Okay. So we should put sunscreen 365 days of the year, even on the non-summer days. If you're able to see things in the daylight without using artificial light or your phone's light, yes, you need to put on the sunscreen. Do you recommend sunscreen just for the face or for whole body? I mean, whole body can be a little too much. I usually do it only for the areas that are exposed. So like my feet, my little bit of ankles, my hands, my palms, and my face and my neck. If I'm wearing like a crop top or like a off-shoulder top, then I'll also do it on my chest, but mostly on the area that is exposed. I think whole body would be very expensive. Is the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer SPF 50 okay for acne-prone skin? It should be. It should be. I personally don't have a great experience with it. Neither do I recommend it to my clients. But the ingredients are very much in place, and it is a good brand overall, so it should be helpful. Sunscreen for babies, avoid. Please make a video on reapplication of sunscreen, ways or reapplication. So see, personally for me, I really just, let's say, I have not reapplied my sunscreen today. So most of the times I had my curtains pulled down a little bit, so like the sheer part of the curtain, and I was still in the natural light. I was still not using artificial light, but I was not directly near the window or the balcony, so not a lot of light was coming in. If that is someone, like, you know, if you are someone who has a condition like that, I recommend using the sunscreen, but it really depends on the UV index of the place we live in. Okay, and I did not reapply it today because I was not that exposed. But even, let's say, I was wearing a little bit of makeup yesterday, I was wearing a BB cream on top of my sunscreen, and after 3 hours I did reapply it. And for me, I just don't have to do anything because I wear a BB cream and I don't set it with a powder, so I'm just able to put it on my face and maybe just redo the blush and I will be good. So that is something that I do. But if I do happen to wear a foundation and then put on the sunscreen, I will maybe film it and put it on my Instagram. How is LA Shield sunscreen as a brand? Tina Patra has asked this. It's quite good. Does sunscreen reduce acne scars and skin texture? Absolutely no. Can we use powder after using sunscreen? You can. A lot of people do it. I personally think that a layer of powder can, you know, make reduce the efficacy of the sunscreen little bit. You can still try it, but I personally, you know, prefer the sunscreen. But any which way, we are wearing makeup on top of it, so it should be fine. I mean, it should be fine. Then when is the best time to be under the sun to get vitamin D? Usually the best time to get vitamin D and the sun is anywhere between 10 to 12 in the morning, when the sun is at its peak and harshest. And I don't recommend anyone getting it at that time. You can expose your back because your body can absorb it from the back side of the, let's say, your calf and your back area as well, the back of your hands as well. But I think with just the world we live in and the vitamin D and hormone D, I think we have gone too far. I mean, you have to decide which one you want to pick and want. I personally take sun early in the morning without a sunscreen, when the sun is not too warm, not too hot, and it feels warm. So like, you know, it doesn't feel too warm or makes me feel sweaty. It just feels okay and cozy and a little warm, and that's when I will maybe, you know, skip the sunscreen and just be there. But post that, when I shower, I'll put on my moisturizer, cleanse my face again, and put on the sunscreen. I really think I should wrap this now. I have about, I don't know, 50 questions left. I don't think we can do it in this video. Get sunburn whenever I apply product that has even a little amount of SPF, be it sunscreen, lip. I think the sunburn is possibly coming from it can be in the genetics, in your genes, where someone in the family had the same skin type and you've got the same one. Number two, you could be using wrong products. Number three, you might be using prescription medicines, OTC and and you are not really following a proper routine, which has made your skin very, very weak, and the skin barrier, the moisture barrier that naturally the skin has, is lost, and that's why you can become sensitized towards a lot of products and things like sunscreen. But it's really the barrier of the skin that is not so strong anymore, and that's what you need to be working towards. Do we need to apply different sunscreen for our hands? Not a different sunscreen, same sunscreen on the hands should be fine. Do we have to apply the sunscreen for every 2 hours from morning to night? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. I reapply it like once. So again, if you're at home, do it 1 to 2 times. If you're outdoors, you have to reapply it every 2 to 3 hours, or wear a nice hat, take a nice big sunglasses, and wear nice clothing and cover yourself. If you're in the car, use a sunshade. So there are a lot of different things you can do apart from sunscreen, or I would say in conjunction with sunscreen. But at least when you're at home, if you do it just once, that's much better than not wearing it at all. And if you're at home and if you don't reapply it, it's going to be completely okay. Should we use sunscreen even if you're wearing a mask? Yes, you should. After how much time of applying moisturizer should the sunscreen be applied? 1 minute or 10 seconds? I think you can apply the moisturizer, wait for about 2 to 5 minutes, and then put on the sunscreen. Or you can even wait for a minute or two if your skin is not very, very dry or oily, and if your moisturizer is good and if your skin soaks it in well like a sponge, then you can wait for about maybe 1 to 2 minutes. 10 seconds is a little too less. When it comes to sunscreen and makeup, I usually keep a gap of 5 minutes. So I put on my sunscreen, I'll wait for 5 minutes, I'll maybe do my hair, or I'll pick up the outfit, or I'll decide on the lip color, or I'll decide on the jewelry, but I will wear the makeup after about 5 minutes. Does silicone-based sunscreen cause acne? Not always. No, not really, not always. Hi, my face feels so oily after applying sunscreen. Is it normal? So again, if you have issues with sunscreen, before you look into the sunscreen, of course the quality of the sunscreen and the brand can be wrong for your skin type, and not inherently that the brand is wrong. But I really advise, look into your different morning and skincare and night skincare routine. What is the moisturizer, cleanser and toner and exfoliator and gel packs and face packs and serums and hydrating oils is doing to your skin, and then see how the sunscreen suits you. Story video you posted for removing sunscreen good enough for removing makeup at night too? Yes, the video that I posted is good enough. You can use it to remove makeup at night. I think micellar water for me does it. A lot of people believe in double cleansing, which is also great, but personally micellar water does the job for me. So yes, you can do the same. That's it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope I'm able to address a few queries and make it a little easy for you. This is a long ass video, and thank you so much for just sticking around. I hope to see you soon. Until then, please stay at home, please take care of yourself, and take care of yourself. Yeah, bye.